Hello. Buonasera. Hello, Mike. How are you?
Hello. Yeah,
Can
I'm
you
good,
hear
thank
me?
you, mate.
Oh, let me change the face here so we are together in this way.
Loud and clear, my friend. Loud and clear. How you doing? You good?
Yes, good. Sweating as crazy here, but I guess the same everywhere now in this summer, but not in Oakland, right?
Not here, my friend.
Not there,
never
huh?
here. Never
Oh,
here.
like Phantom
23
was-
degrees.
Wow, you're chilling. I
Yeah,
hate you.
easy.
I hate you so much. So anyway, here we are, another week into another podcast. Today we are trying to see how it works on Instagram, and having issue on the streaming on Twitter, because usually we are on Twitter. But anyway, let's go on, and people can listen it back on actually every platform that allowed podcast to go, because we are everywhere. So just look for Fratelli di Rugby podcast, and so we should start from the Tonga game, Mike. A quick review over there. What do you think?
Yeah. Let's jump straight in, mate. So obviously it's a game where we have traveled and we have won, so I'm happy. I am not someone who is too fussy with regards to, how we look to win games, particularly if we're trying to build some different artillery. So, like, if we're going to go quite set piece dominant, and hopefully there's a lot of work being done in the scrum and stuff, because we can see from both games that there's been an improvement there. I'm quite happy to win. Like, I don't care how we win, as long as I'm quite. Do you know what I mean? That's sort of the mentality I have at the moment.
So you're going straight ahead with this mentality to the next game, I guess, right? With Japan.
Yeah, I mean, this next game's a tough one for us, mate.
It is. It is, despite the results that we saw for Japan, losing 3 games, winning 1 against New Zealand Maori All Blacks.
Mm-hmm.
They are still a good team. But Tonga, who shined the most in this game, which was pretty under control. Okay, let's not say shine. Let's say who you think deserve a different eye on him.
Yeah, I think there's players that you expect to do well, and they did do well to an extent. Like Menoncello had some beastly carries, as we expect from him, right? I suppose a player that I didn't expect to do well that did do well. When he came on, I thought Garapicino was good with his distribution, which is something that's probably been one of the weaker parts of his game. So I was quite happy to see that. I would say.
How is Monty Ioane doing? I think he's playing good rugby in general, right?
Yeah, he looks fresh, mate. He looks fresh. He looks good. I was just trying to think. I think from my side, a lot of the subs stand out to me, and I don't know if it's just because it was at the end of the game, or because I wanted to see game management, and it looked like the finishers that came on seemed to get a lot of that sort of under control, if that makes sense. So
yeah,
I like the fact that Zambonin came on. I like the fact that Madden came in. I know he made some mistakes from the kicks and stuff, but the game management, when we had to slow it down and when we had to play for territory, I thought we did really well, mate. So I'm quite happy with the finishers, and those are the ones that stand out to me the most. Like I said, I don't know if that's fair, because I think it's a game that we won, right, and we can't be choosers. So yeah, I think
I can put in the mix Yakitsi too. A good game.
Yeah, he was good.
So that is something that shine. But yes, I agree with you. We won. It's great. It's a result that we won. because we have to think a week ago we lost against Samoa, so that helps, right, to be ready for the next fight, which is going to be probably the most intense against Japan, critical. So think
Yeah.
about how many people at the stadium, probably more than the stadium that we saw in Samoa and Tonga, in Apia and Nuku'alofa. I think yes, the mistakes were there still. Sometimes like.
Do you think it's a bit of rust, or do you think it's the fact that it's been such a long season for us? What are your thoughts
So
on it, mate?
in this game, they said that it was still was a lot of wind, but in general, I think some passes, there were some knock-ons. Probably we can do better there.
Yeah,
And that
okay,
I
that's
think because come on, we can be better, and we want to try to play more our style, and sometimes the mistakes just kill us at the beginning of the action, like against Samoa. And I'm much more happy with the defense in general because we give that try because everybody stopped to play. I don't know why, but they stopped to play thinking that Paya was ball was on the ground.
Oh, that hurt
But
me.
hey,
That like,
I mean, we are not committing a lot of penalties, which is
yeah.
great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Whilst Octavio's out, I think he made a really good point.
Yes. Sorry,
I
I'm
said,
here.
no, you're fine. You're fine. I was just sort of saying to the listeners, the point that you made about everyone stopping, that hurt me. Like that hurt my soul.
I
Yeah,
know because
just
we just wait too much, I think, right?
it happened before, and I don't know if you remember this. Scotland 2 years ago. It was
The Fagerson try.
on the try. That when we stopped playing, then I was like, okay, right. That one hurt because we could have won that game, right? That one hurt, but I also felt like we've learned from that mistake. Okay, we've got that one out. We've got that one out the way. But it's one of those, right? Hopefully this is the last lesson they need to learn on that because better teams are going to punish us for it. So yeah.
Mama, come on, we stop there. We were keep turning around, looking at the line out.
Hands in the
Like,
air,
come on,
like
are you gonna whistle or what? But yeah. So it's there. I think, oh man, Josh Kaifa had his best game ever playing
Yeah.
against Italy. That was crazy for me. I didn't see him playing so well with Zebra. He also still a line out at the beginning.
Who was the Tongan young fullback? Have you ever seen him before? Because he is insane. Do you know who I'm on about? The commentators were saying he's like very, very young. Maybe he's probably just come out of their age grade.
Probably 18, 20 years old.
Hey, mate, get him to Zebra. Get him to Zebra now. Like now. Not honestly, mate. Like I was so impressed. I know one game doesn't, like it doesn't dictate, but mate, he was good. Like under high ball, he slapped everyone about. Like, mate, he could be a real good player, like a genuine, like world class player. So,
and then we saw the
Fingers crossed.
Italian centers like Paia Fekitoa.
Yeah. The full complement this weekend.
All of them.
Yeah, it was obviously we've got our friends in the media, and one of our Zebra friends were like, I said, yeah, we saw Trulla score a fantastic try, and he was like, yeah, don't forget Paella. I was like, I sort of want to
Come
forget
on.
that. I sort of want to, man.
Actually, let's talk about Gangs of Trulla.
Yes. Right.
Trulla.
One mistake he made at the start of the game, he was flawless. So if we're going to say people who impressed, genuinely very impressed by Trulla. Very, very impressed. There was one run that he overran. Other than that, it looked like positionally he was very good. When everyone was tight, he held its width, which is something that he learned from his mistakes under Franco Smith, where he was holding. He was coming in too tight, and they were just passing around him. He was very good. I'm very, very happy to finally see him play. This is going to sound bad, but finally see him play in a slightly better standard than he has been playing at Zebra, because he's there.
makes sense. And also, it's good when you have another winger coming on after like 2 years, kinda, and being able to be present in there. And, what happened to you? Of course, guys, we are on
I'll
Instagram
explain.
today and YouTube, so I see some. If somebody wants to join us with question, go ahead, please. And Mike, what happened to your
Yeah.
beard? Are
So
you shorting your beard? Me too.
yeah,
That's the
no,
point.
not intentionally, Otto. So last week I like a beard trimmer. I was shaving away, and I just didn't pay attention. It must have come undone, and it just went. In fact, I don't know if you can see it. Like that's
Mm,
where.
okay,
so
there is
like
where you said, "Oh
it
crap,
came off.
something
Yeah.
happening."
The guard came off, and I was like, well, I'm gonna have to reset here. So yeah, I just thought I'd reset, and also like it's come at a good time. I'm going away for in Italy. It's going to be hot, so I thought why not?
It's gonna be
It'd be nice.
miserable in Italy, my man. You're gonna be ready to eat a lot of pasta and then just going to sleep in the afternoon.
Hard
Pennichella in
life.
the afternoon.
It's a hard life,
Hard
isn't
life.
it?
A lot of
So yeah.
red wine, and it's gonna be good.
Yeah. Oh, Phantom Minute. Have I done
Oh,
all over?
we have Phantom. Have you done all over? I'm getting a Phantom haircut soon, so I'm gonna cut everything and see more of my bald head. But
Hey,
Mike, I have a couple of stuff for you
go
today.
shoot.
We have
Stats.
to talk about. I have to. No, 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 no. I have to
Oh,
show you something for today. Yeah, I didn't
okay.
talk to you about this, but I'm gonna
Go.
share it anyway with you. Let me just check if I'm doing the right stuff now. Okay, so we are talking about ears, okay? Cabbage
Yeah.
ears, cauliflower ears, orecchie a
Yeah.
cavolfiore. So, what
Yeah.
do you think about Andrew Porter? Like, rate those years from 0 to 10.
I'm trying to think who has worse ears than him. I would say.
Maybe you
I
can
would
like
say
the
solid.
style.
Well, listen, like I see ones which just split open all the time from other. I'm going to give him an 8. His bleed a lot, but there's ones which bleed worse. Give him a solid
Okay.
8 out of 10.
What about
I
this
mean,
pointy triangle ear of Duan Vermeulen?
mate, listen. Between him and Sam Underhill, they look like they belong in Lord of the Rings. So I'd say this man is probably a yeah. I'd say if he's a if I gave Porter an 8, he's as a 9 for sure. A 9.
He's a 9. Duan
Yeah,
Vermeulen.
yeah,
Forma.
yeah.
Springbok. Okay. Can I go ahead?
Oh, shoot away, mate.
Okay, so let me see who else I have here for you ready. Let me check. I have a couple of good ones. Should I go with a good one? Chris Jack. Look how pumping is that ear.
Oh, mate, that needs
Look at
draining. That that needs some draining. I mean, I'll say I'll give it a 9 because his other ear on the other side looks
Looks good.
completely normal, completely normal. So, it, you know, both of the previous ones, both ears are slightly fucked up. So I have to, on balance, he's got one perfect ear, one not. So I'll give him a 9.
So, guys, if you're listening us on the Spotify, go on YouTube so you can watch the pictures that we pick for this game, for this silly game. Look at Salvatore Perugini playing hide and seek.
Yeah, it is playing hide and seek. I
That's a
mean,
nice one. You can say
yeah.
I'm a prop in this game. I used to
I'll,
push there. You can see
yeah, for sure, for sure. I give him a 7, 6, 7. Yeah, he's all right. He's all right.
6, 7.
Yeah, wait a minute. Yeah, 6 or 7.
Okay, so Tom Robertson, Candyman, we can call him.
Oh, it looks like someone's folded his ear.
My God, man. I think it's great if you want to toss a coin with those ears. Probably you have a big.
It's
That's a
like
good way.
when those magic tricks where people pull stuff out of their ear. Like he's literally got
Yeah.
so much. Like he pull piano, pull like I don't know, like baby elephant out. He'd be all right, mate. I'd say probably a yeah. That's probably the worst one I've seen. 10. Let's give that a 10.
Okay, 10. I have few more left. Marcos Kremer, pumping.
I'd give it an 8 again. He's all right. It doesn't bleed
Classic.
as much. Yeah, sort of in between.
John Mitchell, both years. That's funny to think.
I'd say 8 on this on this bad boy as well.
Red
John.
Roses coach at the moment.
Yeah, I'll give him
Okay.
an 8.
Graham Roundtree, probably the more classic.
10.
That is the staple, right?
Yeah. That's the benchmark, isn't it? And
Halloween Jones,
8. He's taped it way in advance, so he'll be all right.
Okay. And Donald Trump. That was
he loves it. He loves it. He loves
all
it.
this time
He loves it.
to talk about that guy, man.
Oh,
It was
mate.
perfect for rugby.
Fight.
I saw that
fight.
thing, man. I
Yeah,
saw that
mate.
thing. I saw Halloween Jones, and from there I get
yeah. Hey,
Anyway.
listen, I think you gained a lot of respect from people this weekend. So fair play to him.
But if Donald Trump was a rugby player, which position was the right one for him?
Someone who talks a lot of shit but can't back it up, he'd be a scrum half for sure. For sure.
Nice.
Build a wall. Build a defensive wall across the thing. Don't let any Japanese people pass. Like, just build a wall.
Talking about Japan.
Yeah.
This was the funny part, random that you didn't know was just there around the corner for you. Japan, a game that it's a must-win game, but it's not an easy road.
Yeah, it's must-win for sure, right? As in, we haven't gone with experimental players. We haven't gone with, like blooding fresh talent. We've gone with players that have played all season together. It's must-win because that's what, the people at the top have asked for. It's not going to be easy. I don't know. I think because of some of like the comments where people are undervaluing our opposition in Italy, I'm concerned that seeps through to the players. It's just something I've always thought, like when we undervalue our opposition and, like Uruguay as an example during the World Cup, or like when we determine our way. When we determine our opposition is just beneath us, that terrifies me. It's going to be a tough game. Eddie Jones, love him or hate him, is a fantastic coach. He's going to have some plays saved purely for us, and like you mentioned 2 weeks ago, they beat the Maoris, they beat the Maori All Blacks. They almost beat Georgia with 13 men at one point, playing with
at the end, 13. When Georgia scored, they were 13, and they play 14 men for 60 minutes, for an hour.
Yeah, I mean, we can't undervalue this team. We can't underestimate our position, and I think it's really important for us to make sure that we are confident. But also there's an element where, nothing is going to be given to us. And we don't travel well.
Yeah, they're in Japan. They're already like visiting, chilling before starting the next days. I think today they're starting the trainings to get ready for that game. Talk about Japan. I would like to add you a couple of stats to that. In the 2 games against England and Georgia, 100% accuracy from line out. They were 100% on own scrum feed, and 63% against Georgia, but without a player. And they went.
Yeah.
That is one thing. Second thing, they move a lot the ball, but they can also kick more, because against England, the ratio between kicking and passing was 1 kick for almost 10 passes, and with Georgia was the same. So they move a lot the ball. multi phases, a lot of like shape on shape they like to play. But for example, against the second game against the Maori All Blacks, they kick the ball once every four passes. So like half, they cut completely the stats compared to England. So they are able to do both style of game. Against against us, they can try to kick more with the crazy kicks with Saito, with the number 9 that is gonna go play for Stade Toulousain next year. Tatafu is back. Is the other one that play in France. It's it's ready. It's a team that knows how to play, even if they change a lot. Because the fullback is this new under 20 guy from last year, and he looks good. He looks really good player. Can commit a lot of mistakes, but looks ready.
Dangerous. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you look ready. You already play 4 games straight. Is the fullback for Eddie Jones. So go ahead.
Yeah. I think from my side, right, you hit one of the points that I was going to mention, like on the head, which is, I said it in the chat as well. For those of you guys who aren't in the chat, please do join. But I mentioned that Japan have had a strong pathway, and it's only getting stronger, especially now that, you know, Eddie's got sort of fairly a focal point on rebuilding this Japan team, because obviously they're going to have a lot of turnover in the next few years. We can't, we can't underestimate the players, the crop that are coming through, how well looked after they are, how much money is in the game there, which means, you know, facilities and access to high level coaching and all of the stuff that we as a rugby nation probably lack, although we probably have a better standard of rugby across the board. They have. So it's this game is going to be a really interesting acid test for Japan, just as much as it is for us. Japan are going to be a better Japan than the one we played last year. But we're a better team than we are last year. So now it's going to be a true test of where are we at with this evolution. And yeah, you know, like you said, if they like to move the ball around a lot and they like to kick a lot, we're going to have to put people with big boots in the backfield, big accurate boots, and we're going to have to learn to slow down the ball legally. So maybe sometimes dark arts, but mainly legally, right? So that's where we're at, right? As a team, we could take a lot out of this game if we play it well.
You know what I liked about our last game, that we are not conceding a lot of penalties, and I hope it's gonna stay low. The stats for both games, we concede only 6 penalties. 6 against Samoa, 6 against Tonga, which is good, which is really low. They commit more penalties than us, but they have
Most
also.
of them are scrum, though, weren't they?
Sorry.
Most of them were scrum penalties on the opposition side for both games, weren't they?
We have got some of them, some offside. Some see the occasion against Samoa, for example. Against Tonga, some like clean out ball there, a couple of turnovers. We were a little bit better, but we still can do more. Think about how many runs had Cap Watts in the last game against Tonga. I think probably this is a game that we want to see him playing more. And of course, I'm gonna try to ask you what you think about the selection for this game, because we know Big Seb Negri is left the team. He wasn't able to rehab from the injury that got him. So
Do you
still
want me
open that
to my
position.
lineup?
If you want, Mike, go ahead.
Yeah, so I always struggle with who I would start, you know, either Fisco or Spagnolo, just because both have their, you know, benefits, both have their strengths. And I would say probably start with Fisco, probably Nicotera, and then I would say Ferrari to start
Okay.
off with. And I'll tell you my reason behind, because I think Ferrari at the moment is a better scrummager, or the best scrummager that we have at tight head. I think Spagnolo is a better scrummager than Fischetti. And then I think it's probably quite even between Nikodera and Lucchesi in at hooker in terms of like the what they add to the set piece. So the reason I think those three is we don't lose too much when, or we it evens out when the subs come on. Like when the spaghetti pack or the pasta pack or whatever we're being called nowadays comes on, it evens out. Then I would say I would want 3 jumpers playing against Japan if they've got 100% line out. But then we don't commit.
Okay.
And that's the issue, right? We don't commit jumpers. So for me, I would like to see us committing more. Maybe that's something that happens in the future. But let's say we go Ruzza. Yeah, I think Yakizi probably should. It gets,
start at 4 or start at 6?
Starts at 4.
Okay, so number 6 jumper.
Number 6 jumper would be Izagor, probably. Yeah, it has to be, right? And then 7, right? And then I'm obviously Lamaro is unconditional. Yeah. 8, I always struggle because I think Vincent is slightly ahead of Cannone for me. However, I don't care if one of the other stars.
Both are good, yeah.
Right. Both are very, very good. 9. I love Varney, but I want to see NPR because they're going to be quick. We need a quick scrum half. One speed. what was it? It was
rapid. It was rapid.
Rapid. Yeah, every opportunity.
Everybody texting him like that way.
Yeah, just quick, like instinctive play. Fast at the breakdown. Garbisi 10. I don't think we have much other option.
Centers, where we have 2 players that never played this summer.
You want May in on this one?
No, I can talk too. I go with Meroncello Brex.
Nice.
I mean, I go like that.
Nice. I'm waiting for Phantom to have a heart attack that you put Brex at 13.
Yes. But I go like that. I don't know what you think, Mike. I go with them.
Yeah, go ahead. Like finish off the backfield. Who, like, obviously you said Capuozzo. I think he's probably solid, right?
Yeah, that is interesting. The fullback.
You're changing your mind already.
No, because I spoke the other day in Italian Monday. Right. I was thinking, what about we bring Linag from the bench, then we start with Capuozzo on the wing, and Gallagher in too.
So
there was something like that, but I mean, the
Monty,
team that
you're keeping, right?
No, but look, the team that I want to see.
Yeah.
Because let's say honest, the team that I want to see is Ioane, Capuozzo, Linag, because I didn't see a lot of them together.
Okay.
So those 3 are the players that I want to see.
What? Okay, and I'm interested more than anything. Obviously, I gave you my front. I'd like to hear your front 10 as well. Then, so who would you have in the pack? Who would you have a 9-10 combination?
So in the pack, you said, for example, Spagnolo maybe starting ahead of Fischetti. I think Fischetti is going to start because Fischetti start all the games under Quesada.
That's what I said in the end. I said Fischetti and then Ferrari to start on tight head because then Spagnolo's about. Yeah.
Something that I would like to see, it's like a mini pasta box squad, pasta pack.
Pasta pack. Spaghetti squad.
Talking about pasta pack, something interesting could be bringing Ruzza from the bench. I only change in the second row with him. So starting with Iachizzi, if you want, and Cannone or Iachizzi Zambonin.
Yeah.
Bringing only Ruzza, bringing Odiase, starting. I would say also start with Odiase for the first game. That's for me. This game, Odiase, yes. Power, first half of power with him. So strength, hard work. Yes, I would like to see that. And then you can
Nice.
bring Vincent Giuliani from the bench. Start think about starting with Cannone, but or maybe the two friends together, like all style player that knows a little bit better. But I'll start with Varney and ending with Pagelo anyway. That is the only change there. And some question pop out the other day, thinking, okay, but if we want to give one of the two centers piece for the last game, okay, and give a chance to Zanon or May, I think maybe a Zanon can be interesting to see, but we know Zanon what can give us. So maybe May can be the crazy call, the crazy move. May 13 with Menoncello.
You know what? I was actually
The weird
thinking.
call.
I listen. I'm not adverse to anything you've said. The only thing I'd say is if you're going to do what you do, I think for me, Cannone just seems a little bit tired. I don't think he's played at his, as in Nicolò. He hasn't played to his ability, so I'd probably say if you're going to go with that, I'd like to see Vadzambo or Ruta start. But May, I'm not adverse to May starting, but actually I was thinking if we're going to go 6-2 again, which I think we're probably going to go 6-2.
It's complicated, man.
Well, if it's going to go 5-3, right? This is what I would say. If it's going to go 5-3, I'd actually like to see Menoncello not start. I'd like to see what Menoncello can do against tired legs. Imagine I'd like to maybe see him,
So would you like to see what Walter is guessing? Because that is the other scenario that I was going 10-12 with those two, so you can play more with
we
like,
need to. We need
so you have
two
big
playmakers.
boots. So you have two big boots left and right. In this way, you can play more with Capuozzo. If you bring only Garbisi, you need a boot behind with Gallagher. If we want a double foot,
I'm
those
with
are
you.
the questions to think about. How we can organize this with two left and right strong leg. Marin in the group as a 10, Garbisi moved at 12. But in that way, are you gonna do something like against the specificity of Zanon or not? I mean,
I love that idea, by the way. I love it. It's not something I thought about, but I would have Garbisi at 10, Marin at 12.
10-12, huh?
Yeah.
Interesting.
But I love that idea only because I think England this and it'll make sense why I'm bringing up England. England this weekend showed what happens without a second distributor when you're used to playing a second distributor in Furbank at fullback, because obviously then they had Stewart, who's not as much of a ball player, but he's better,
Absolutely.
at sweeping,
Carrying the ball, yeah.
everything, right? But he's not a ball player. I think for us, we play our best game when we have two playmakers. And I know a lot of people disagree with me, but I think we've played our best game when we had Tommy Allen at fullback and when we had Garbisi and we had two distributors and we were able to, force defenses into decisions that they didn't want to make. And we were also able to pass the ball out quickly, efficiently, and cleanly to our danger men. That's what I think. So I would love to see a 10-12 personally. I would love to see it. I would love to see it. And if, as Walter said, Marin 10, Garbisi 12, vice versa, maybe give Menoncello a break on the bench because he's played a lot of rugby this season as well, and we don't want him getting injured. Hey, I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad.
That is interesting in this, like, in this moment of the summer, because we are there wondering what can change, but then every choices made by Quesada, I'm always looking forward to those. Think about, okay, what can how they will organize this, how they will be able to do that, how they're
It's all
gonna
speculation.
manage the bet.
Yeah, it's all speculation from us. We're not suggesting
Something that I would like to understand more is a better use a different position in the field of Isakor when he's on the field. I would like to see him doing
Good.
that, man, yeah, I want to see him playing in the edge. Honestly, we put every time Rutsa in those last 15 meters, but I prefer to see a Nidzagor in those meters and
I
and
100%
carry the
agree.
ball out. I know
100%.
how it's like under control with his handling skills, Rutsa, but I would like to see Idzagor doing the Idzagor stuff, right? And
Let him burn someone on the outside.
yeah, smash
Yeah.
some winger. Maybe he's gonna grow. Maybe it's not gonna be now. Maybe it's gonna be some of the surprises for the November tests. But it's something that I want to understand how we can use him better in the national team to replicate those, to reply those performance where he's strong, because he's a strong tackler, everything, whatever you want, but he's a great runner. Ball in
Yeah,
hand.
no, 100% agree with everything you've said there. 100% agree. Oh, I'm just thinking back to the Six Nations as well. I think Vincent also had that edge. He was put on the edge when he was on as well.
Yeah.
I vaguely remember that meme that you made with the Vespa, where he they flood the center channel and he just runs through. Oh, I love it. And then obviously there was that tap and go which he took out to the edge as well. But yeah, I 100% agree with you. I think I understand why we have Ruta on, like you said, the decision making, and he's got fantastic hands and all that jazz. But we've also seen where we've made mistakes in for Benetton as well, where he's played the same position and Brex has gone for a crossfield. Do you remember this? This is something that's quite sore. He's gone for a crossfield and Ruta's overrun it. That might have been actually for Italy. I can't remember. I vaguely remember a crossfield kick, which Ruta was on the edge. But yeah, I agree with you. I wouldn't be adverse to see any of this stuff. My concern is, right, and this is because I'm slightly more risk adverse probably to you, is Japan the team to make these changes? And that's the question to you. Do you think Japan is the right? Do you think we should have done it against Samoa and Tonga, or do you think Japan is the right? Because we've said right at the start, this is a must-win game for us. We're not trialing anything. We're not blooding any players.
No, we
Is this
did
the right time for
already.
you? We should have done already.
And if we have personality, yes. If we want to show, by the way, that we're gonna focus in a way, I think we can do it. But depending how they are ready, mentally ready, the players, not nothing else in this moment, I think. So can we change some players? Yes, if they assimilate, they are focused 100% on what kind of performance they have to bring for those minutes that they have to be on the field. So I know it's hard. It's a big call. Doing okay. Let's do a couple of 5 changes in the team and do it. I'm all for it. But if we're gonna present our best team or experienced team, I'm okay with that too, Mike.
Yeah,
Because
I'm sort of in for
the game.
I'm in for a penny, in for a pound. I think if we're going to put Odiase on, I think we put May on as well. Like I think if
it's one,
much,
yeah, those are the 3 players left: Odiase, Zanon, May.
Right. Okay. Obviously, I've got no issue. We know what Zanon can do. If he starts, I wouldn't be upset. However, we have been expecting May to start or have a game at any level for so long already. It's a shame, obviously, that he got injured when he got injured. It's a shame, obviously, that for whatever reason he didn't find spot in Samoa or Tonga. If we're going to put some of these players in, let's just put them all in. Why not? And set the expectation that, you know, this is a summer test. We have to make changes. We have to try, you know, new things. When we're not going to be able to learn stuff in the Six Nations because we're expected to scrape a win. We're not going to be able to do it when we're doing home games because we're expected to win games to try and bring more eyes to Italian rugby in Italy. We're going to different locations across Italy. We want to win those games. We want to create new fans. If we can't do it now, when are we going to do it, Otto? That's my question to you. Like, if we're not going to make changes now and be ballsy and accept the fact that there's risk when you make changes, right? When are we going to do it? That's my concern, right? Like, so either we go all in or we do what we did, be very conservative, pick the
We
same
stick to
players.
the classic. Man, those two players. I mean, if Zanon is not gonna play these games, I'm
But
okay.
we know
with
what we get from Zanon as well. Like, I'm
That's
happy
why.
because Zanon's
And,
good.
maybe he's the best player during the week. That helps us really well to perform. I'm
Yeah.
okay with that. Like, you remember what Rassi Rasmus said during the World Cup about Libok and for the final. Libok and Reinach, they were out. They said they're gonna be our best Aaron Smith and Budon Barrett for the preparation for the final. So
Yeah.
if Zanon is that kind of player, I'm 100% agree with that. May, I'm really excited to see her playing there because the 13, it's that kind of 13. May can do some stuff as legs.
We also got a timeline, don't we? We've got an expiry date on 13.
The Brexit, right? So, yep, absolutely. So that is more exciting to see him, and I know what Odiase can bring. What is gonna do bad Odiase? Is gonna spear tackle somebody? No, I don't think so. He's gonna try to carry hardest as possible, run over players if it's possible, and tackle everything. So he's gonna bring intensity. And so if you bring that intensity from the beginning, it's okay, because then you can still manage in the second half how you want it to change.
I wouldn't be averse to it. Also, I think when we lose someone like Seb, and I think we said this last week, didn't we?
Yeah,
we lose someone who's willing to, run at defense consistently, just with no regard to their own like safety. And I think Odias is patriotic enough and he's proud enough, and we've seen it in the under-20 speeches how much it means to him to represent the country. I wouldn't be adverse to seeing him play. I'd be quite happy to see him play. I just think if we're going to make a change, we need to make multiple changes and just accept the fact that these players deserve to be picked, right? First and foremost. And secondly, there's a chance where, there might be mistakes made because it's going to be their first taste of, test level rugby. So yeah, I'm happy on both counts. I just think if we're going to make a change, we need to make a change across the board,
Odias is not a 6. Okay, what is? He's only an 8, a 7. What the fuck? Come on. Next, under 20. Under 20. This message. This message, Phantom.
I'm not saying
so much.
I'm saying nothing. Odias is 100% a 6.
He cannot play 6. He cannot. He cannot play 6.
He's like the archetype for 6. Anyway, we'll leave it. We'll leave it at that.
Oh, I think I'm the only one thinking that. Okay, because yeah. Mannaggia,
you're wrong, Otto. You're wrong, my friend. You are wrong. Yeah, you're wrong, mate.
Under 20 is a natural 7th for me. Okay,
fair enough.
He's a flanker, so
I actually think we should put him in at fly half personally. So I saw him kick a ball once in under 20s, and it didn't go straight out. That's all I'm saying. It might have been a grubber, but it didn't go straight out. So, yeah, I think, I think for me, right, under 20s, we talking about sort of Spain and the upcoming rematch, or where do you want to start with the under 20s?
Man, under 20, we can go in general because the team is out already. We can see in general there is a lot of changes, but still they can do. They can try to win this game against Georgia even with the changes. Wasn't that shiny performance from the Italians, but they did it, and that is the important thing for now. But of course, in general, we can be we have to do much better. We can play better. We have to play better, Mike. That is my impression in general of these under 20s. we can be much better than this. It's the second year I have this big deja vu about the games. Playing the games against South Africa, we made history. Play another game against
Australia.
Australia the year after. This year we made history, but then we've been smashed by Argentina and Ireland last year. Lost against Georgia. We lost against Fiji last year, if I am right. And now we won against Spain, and now we're gonna go play again the last game against Georgia. We're not gonna go down, but hey, we can be
Mm,
better, man. Because some
that's
of the
it.
players are good, but in general we don't play all together in har- with harmony. I don't know what's going on. We can do better. We have to we have to show more skills. Our losing like our forwards needs to move those legs better, not only crash one pass play, two pass play, crash. No, we need to runs around the field. I don't know, something.
I agree with you, and I think you said something which is perfect, which is we can, and if we can, we should. So if we can be better, therefore we should be better. Um, I I struggle with our under 20s because obviously at Six Nations, obviously I know we're sporting a couple of injuries to important players, but I feel like we were so set on having this destructive set piece, right? Um, destructive scrum that unfortunately we have lost some of what's made us very good at under 20s level with like our exciting backs with their skills. Like you said, what it looks like our backs with the handling errors and some of the decision making and stuff, it feels like that we've been so reliant on having a really you know scrum dominant tactic, South African tactic, or even like a Georgian tactic where you win in the scrum and you're getting up the field, and you then obviously when you're in the right
More,
areas,
more
yeah,
and pick and go,
more,
right?
yeah, that we have lost that ability. I say lost, we haven't, because the players are still the same players, right? But I feel like we've been too reliant on that, and that needs to change. Obviously, we do want to have props that can make it into the national team and be dominant, all of that good stuff. That's fine. But if you look at every other nation, they don't put as much weight onto that as we do. They are developing skills, and they're like, you can see the difference between the under 18s and the under 20s is that the under 18s that were beaten by us because of our physical attributes, at under 20s they're passing the ball round us. So I think there's probably a bit of work that needs to be done in the pathway. It's something I've been thinking about a lot, but I'm really interested in hearing your thoughts on this,
And
mate.
no,
Like,
no, and I agree with you. I think now what is interesting that Santa Maria, Lodi, and Marcato, they had this long time with the team before next Six Nation that I'll probably focus. Okay, next steps for these players, they're gonna be this. They're gonna be follow up in a different way. Probably gonna have work to do during the week and the weekend when it's game time, and that for me probably is something that can help us being better for the next edition of the Rugby World Cup under 20s and the Six Nation. Actually, we're gonna come back, and we're gonna have I think still Gallorini for the next. Am I right?
yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah. I'm interested to see how he does as
we're
well,
gonna have,
because obviously he's no longer under 20s, is he?
no, that's the point. So sorry, so he's not gonna be there, and we have more players that they're trying to invade the Serie A elite at the moment. Some players up, some players down. We need Gasperini to throw and hundreds of line out with a wet ball. We need other player
Yeah,
to be more better accuracy when it's time to pass the ball. Think about Casilio and stuff like that. And
yeah.
let's see what Josh is saying here. There is a
Remember,
huge difference in the under 20s. By the way, now the majority of the under 20s play together constantly in the Serie A, so they had that team cohesion. That's true too.
yeah, I understand that. I think an element for me is, and this is something that we were discussing earlier, and actually, Otto, I think you made the best point when we're talking about the under 20s. If you look at, Finn Baxter as an example, Finn Baxter was getting bullied by Genovese, sorry, by Rizzoli in the scrum because obviously he used to be a tight head. And then you made the point where, yeah, that's fine, but then he spent 2.5 years scrummaging against, some of the best props in the Premiership, Wilco Low and all that jazz. And then obviously he's transitioned and now he's Marla's project and he's had the exposure to that. It's all good having academies for Benetton. It's all good having academies with Zebre. But I'd be really interested to understand the level and the amount of work that's actually done before they're shipped off to the Serie A elite team. So for me, I think that's a question that I'd love answered by people who know, like how much, is Gallerini scrummaging against Spagnolo. I would love to see that,
Show us some clips so we
how
can
good
be
would that
hyped
be?
up.
How good would that be? Like, and also, right, in terms of like marketing for Italian rugby, we've got one of the best players from the past two tournaments, and then a player that's come out and just adapted to every position, every scenario that he's been in. How good would that be just to have that as a photo, and then we can start articulating about progress, and then we can start articulating about future.
Talking about future and props.
Yes.
Filippo Alongi leaves Benetton to go to Petrarca. Are we winning as Italian movement or not in this choice made by the player? I don't know how to articulate more this, Mike, but I'm not happy at all to see Federico Alongi going back to the Serie A elite. I don't like.
It's the definition of one step forward, 2 steps back. That's what it is, man. That's what's happened here. Hey,
Hope he's gonna have a lot of game time and he's gonna smash the other props with Petrarca. But hey, come on, 24 years old. Is it possible that he is switched so much and is not able to find a different challenge? There can be I don't know, Pro D2 Federal, another team instead of going to Petrarca.
For sure. Mate, for sure. Like, obviously, I understand why he left Benetton, right? Because let's be honest.
I like Zanon kind of stuff. No game time. I'm going trying to do something. Like he went to Boy, he went to Bezier as a medical joker. Both they went for medical joker actually when it was time.
Yeah, I understand. I think for whatever reason, right? You said it was his choice to come back. Maybe it's stuff that we don't know and we have to respect. That's absolutely fine. But also, with one look at the sort of development, you look at some of the Zebre players that stuck around, and Nocera before he got injured was brilliant. So sometimes it is about gritting your teeth and playing, in maybe not necessarily a club that you dreamed of playing with to start off with, but improve. And then when you improve, don't rush the decision to go to a different country, don't speak the language, I assume, and all that stuff, right? Make a better decision, make a more rational decision after you've been in a position where you've developed as a player and you're now in a position to make a step and you're able to sustain that change, because obviously it's a different environment and maybe it was too much for him,
Let me see this question by Adam Bendinelli. What does it serve the player to stay as understudy, never getting game time? In South Africa, in the Currie Cup, the URC teams field the 15. Why can't Benetton Zebra also fill 15 in Serie A Elite?
Do you want me to take this?
Go ahead, Mike. Adam, great idea. Great idea. Why not?
Adam,
Right?
preaching to the choir, my friend. Yeah, it's something that we've spoken to people about. I don't think we should name names or whatnot. And I think across the board, it's something that's agreed that should happen. I just if I can nail it down to one word, it's politics. And we're not going to go into more detail on that. It's just politics. Okay, so that's the reason as to why,
So,
unfortunately.
or leaving, for example, something interesting for me was the chance. Like they're doing, look, today I went to see the Black Lion Wikipedia page, Black Lion the Georgian. And they say these players that are part of this franchise, they are from all the team of the DD10, which is their team. Let's give a chance to these players, this combined. We can do also combined between Benetton and Zebre to play, to put players that need games time into the Serie A Elite, or put an under 23 selection, fierce selection that is not going to change anything about the points. 0 points if they win, 0 point, but they cannot go relegated in second division in Serie A. Or the Emergenti, yes, was the other option regard the players when they went to play in different area. Curry Cup 15, Namibia 15, they went to play. In that way, if you need a player to get ready after an injury, Cambriani, let's talk about Cambriani. Cambriani was all the big injury. You know, before starting against Sharks next weekend, played the week before against Piacenza with the combined. Maybe Minozzi was a player that would have been good there. Maybe Alongi in that case. But hey, okay, this week I need you up. So you're coming with me. You are in the team. You're gonna play. So you have
So
under 53 that can play and develop without thinking they're not gonna play because there's no chance. But sometimes also, okay, Pasquale, you go down. Alongi, you come with me from the bench in Munster.
yeah, no, I'm with you, and I think actually something that me and my friends discussed a long time ago. You know, when there was talks about ring fencing the Premiership, we were like, okay, well, how are we going to make sure that players, you know, get game time? Because obviously of the large rosters, and both apply, right? And this was what we came up with. We have a Championship side, which is a partner of a Premiership side, like Richmond and Quins, or like London Scottish and Quins. It gives out those. It gives out those. They give out players to that team,
To
and
recover
we could do.
from injury too. Linag played
Yeah,
this year with them. Aniewu
yeah,
Baxter played there
yeah,
too.
yeah. But we could do something very similar, and I think that's sort of why people are starting to get excited about some of the players going, you know, loan, not loan. I don't know what it is to other clubs, but what we could do is have a one to many. So not just have it going to one club where they're sitting on the bench of that club as well. Have it so that if you know Zanon isn't playing this week, let him play somewhere else, but let him decide where he wants to play, or let like the teams decide, and they can have, you know, maximum of two players or three players from each team, right? And then actually it's not too much of a, do you know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
yeah. It just seems arbitrary to me that we're not doing something like that. You know?
Or like players that they already have like caps, Italian caps. Like think about Lamaro injured. Now, hopefully nothing happened to the captain, but Lamaro get injured. Okay, you're gonna play. You can play no more than 40 minutes for 3 weeks before you get 100% ready for Benetton's game. Like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
let's put also timing for the cap, the already important players, but bringing them there. Of course, the issue is gonna be, but what if somebody get injured? Who's gonna pay who? And all this, a lot of talks, a lot of politics stuff going around. Politics. Yeah, there is a
Always.
great songs about Africa Unite called Politics. It's really interesting. A Turin reggae band, but
Yeah.
they have to
I
connect better player. Yes, of course.
yeah.
That's the other thing.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting, like where we're now in a position that we have too many players, we have too much talent, and it's always going to be the same issue. If we had an under-23 league that is part of the URC, we'd be in a better position. But unfortunately, that's not the case. If we were, if we had a third franchise, then great. Like we can start scouring the best talent of the Serie A elite, and we could probably make a third franchise with those players. Great, but unfortunately, we're not in this position. So that I don't really know what the answer is, Otto. Obviously, Emergenti
No, that's the
was too
point.
expensive.
Seems too expensive, but man, and now I mean, all the things that we want to do, we have to wait. Or we want to see. We have to wait. What's gonna happen in September after the election? Because that is gonna be the big talking point. Is gonna be there after the September. What's gonna happen? Who's gonna promise what?
Yeah, part of me just sort of thinks, why don't we do what the Georgians have done and go to the RFU and go to French and just really sort of build up. What? Because we're too proud, or like what's the reason as to why? Or is it because we are focusing on building out the quality of Serie A elite? Okay, if that is the case, then why don't we try and see where it's at? Like every year, have a game against a Premiership side. Like I'm sure a Premiership side would be quite happy for us to have somewhat like a select, to go over like we did against Leicester, right? I'm sure they'd be happy. That was a sold out crowd for them as well. Like I'm sure they'd be happy with it. Why wouldn't they?
And they're gonna be more of this opportunity. You can create the Batumi Cup against the Black Lions.
Example. Yeah. Why wouldn't we? Like it just seems like such a. It seems to me, right, that we fail on the imagination of the marketing side, because we see stuff as an expense, but we don't see how we reclaim stuff. If Leicester can fill out 20, Mattioli wrote, like and was it 28,000, right? If they can fill out 28,000, I'm sure they'll throw us a bone, right? Like I'm sure they'll pay for the wages of the. Do you know what I mean? Anyway,
we'll see. Mike, you used to watch a lot of Japanese cartoons when you were young, or not?
Only stuff like Dragon Ball, the usual stuff, Dragon Ball Z, Pokemon, yeah.
Not the stuff before that, like Ken the Warrior, Doraemon.
I watched a lot of it on Mediaset growing up, but I can't.
Trottola. Do you remember Gigi La Trottola, the little kid that used to play all the sports?
No, I remember the football one. Do you remember the football one where like he kicked? I can't remember what it's called. Benji. That's it. Yeah. Oh man, that's funny. That's a funny memory. Yeah, those are like the ones that I remember growing up as a kid.
Sanpei, the fisherman, something like that. You remember him?
No. I can't. For me, yeah, the football one, and obviously then there was like Sailor Moon and all of that stuff growing up as well.
Sailor Moon.
everyone's first crush, Sailor Moon.
You know who can be perfect wearing a rugby player that can be perfect with a Sailor Moon dress on?
Joe Marler.
You said my God, Josh.
Oh good.
Really
Where's Phantom?
No,
yeah,
Phantom
so
after the 6-7 flanker situation.
Oh no! Right, well,
That's
an apology after this, but I watched a lot of that stuff growing up. Digimon, all that jazz, all the ones that were on mainstream. But yeah, we were having a discussion about anime earlier on just some gifs going off in the chat. But yeah,
Mike, hopefully to see you soon next week, maybe with some guests, maybe with somebody back on the hype train of the Italy Federation, which is Marcello. Well,
Yeah.
he's gonna be able next week, and nothing. Forza Italia, and see you after the game. And if you want to join our WhatsApp group, listen us and everything, you know what to do. So that's
Let's
it,
go. Let's
guys.
go.
Sigla as usual. Let's play music.